Good morning, Academy 55 members and everybody else who's watching the recording. David Kahn here on Friday, the 12th of September. It's now 5 to 10 in the morning here in the UK. Looking at the EUR USD on the 1 minute time frame, following the fortunes of the Academy 55 indicators and strategy. Well, what can we see here? If I put it on take the indicators off and go on the 5 minute time frame. Now, we did have a buy zone down there. I don't know what happened to it as I was setting up, but we got imbalances here, balances up there on the 5 minute time frame. So we will be looking for the next buy, which may or may not happen because we've got volume gone right out of the situation at the moment. So what we'll do is we'll have a quick look on the 4-hourly and see what's going on. Well, at the moment on the 4-hourly, we're heading on down. We've got imbalance just here. So I'll mark that up. This candle here is all in balance. Quickly put it on the line chart. Have we got any significant areas? Well, this area here is, well, no, not really. What about the hourly? Let's have a look on the hourly. I would say around about there is a significant area for price to stall or bounce or break or something like that. We got got the wrong. Just around about here where price is right. Well, no, just in front of that, we got kind of respecting there. So we will go back to the ordinary candles, put it on the 5 minute time frame, mark up any zones. Like I said, there was a buy zone just now, but I guess you'll have to take my word for that if you didn't already see it. So going to be after the next buy anyway. Go down to the minute, put the indicators back on. And this is the scenario we'd be looking at for the next buy. But will price want to come down here to check out this imbalance? It might do that first before we get the buy. But regardless of that, we're here. This is the scenario we're looking at, keeping minimum 2.2 pips away, which is there. Anticipating a buy alert, that turning green. That's quite nice like that at the moment. If it carries on up. If it carries on up. But we've got a ways to go yet. So let's see what it does at 10 o'clock. We've got another 5 seconds to wait till the 10 o'clock candle. We're going to have a bit of more of the same. So in the meantime, let's have a word from Steve.
Hi, this is Steve with a very short video to show you where to get the training for the indicators and tools we use inside Academy 55. So once you're logged into the members area, you'll see in the premium dashboard this section that's entitled Start Learning. And if you click here, that'll take you through to the learning library. Now, we'll say at this point, we highly recommend you watch each of these videos 2 or 3 times to get a full understanding of how everything works. Here you'll find tutorials on using the MT4 Trade Assistant and how to use the MT4 platform with the Trade Assistant. This is the longest video you'll find inside the platform. It's around 30 minutes long, well worth your time. Watch the video once, then maybe write a few questions down that you might have for yourself and watch the video for a second time, and things will really start to make sense. By the time you watch it 3 times, you'll fully understand how everything works. So that's the longest video. It's about 30 minutes long, well worth your time. And then you can jump into individual trainings here for how to remove indicators. These videos are just a couple of minutes long. How to move MetaTrader around like you can in TradingView, Trading Assistant controls, how to do back testing in TradingView, how to draw vertical lines to mark out your hour, and so much more. And by the time you watch this video or see this video, there might be other trainings in this section. But everything here is well worth your time, and you find that, as I said a moment ago, from the main dashboard in the Start Learning section. Now, one more thing just to mention here. If you're looking for anything in particular, if you come down to the support name of FAQs, click on Get Support, and in this area you'll find a detailed FAQ section, and you can come through here. For example, if you're looking for an answer to a question about MetaTrader, have a look through these, and once you click through you'll find direct links to videos that give you answers to most of the questions that we get asked on a regular basis. So hopefully you found this useful, and back to your further training.
Yeah, thank you very much, Steve. Right, as you can see, not a lot's been going on. Volume has fallen away. Question is, I really do think they'll probably go down and tap into this imbalance here before maybe making a move up to get these imbalances, but they might do vice versa first, sorry, vice versa first. They might come up here and then go down to tap into there. We don't know, but we're looking for the next buy alert. Now, shame I wasn't on this morning, because that's the sell zone. Look, we're waiting for the next sell at 8:30 this morning. I get this short position. Keeping a minimum of 2.2 pips away. So I probably would have got in somewhere on that candle there. Give it a good 3 pips maybe. And as you can see, I would have got my 2% after a bit of time, but we're used to waiting a little bit. So would have got in about 8:30. So about 45 minutes or so, would have got my 2%. So if that was you, congratulations. This could be just a watching brief for you now. And indeed, price now is tapping into that imbalance. And also there's a support and resistance line there. It might bounce or break off this one. It may bounce or break off this other line. And then coming back up for a buy to knock out these imbalances that we see up here, hopefully, or maybe just get to the purple line. There is no red flag news on the horizon with the next hour or two at least to disguise the bank's moves, because that's what they do. Maybe this afternoon they might drive up here and take out these imbalances before doing what they want to do after that. But right now they're tapping into this imbalance area, and it could be bounce or break. Sometimes, of course, they might drive all the way down to knock this imbalance out before carrying on up. But whatever it is, unfortunately, we can't be involved with it because we had a sell here. But so while that's going on, I'm going to get Steve back to inform us how we can mark the trade assistant up.
Hi, this is Steve, and in this short video I'm going to just show you the settings for the trade assistant to make sure that you've got the minimum 2-pip stop loss on the Euro USD or any currency pair, and how you set it for if you're trading a commodity like the US 100, because the settings are slightly different. So here you can see we're on the Euro USD chart here. I've got my risk to reward on the trade assistant locked at 2 to 1. I've got my risk balance at 1%. Lot calculator is on, and my little purple button here between the buy and sell is also activated. So we're ready to bring the trade assistant onto the chart. Now you'll notice here that we've got the stop loss set at 20. That indicates 2 pips when you're on a currency pair. And we can actually change that here by typing over it. So if I type in there 40 and just tab off here, you can see now we've got a stop loss of 4 pips because we're on a currency pair. In this example it's Euro USD, but it could be Euro GBP or any currency pair. So let's just put that back to 20 for our 2 pips. We'll click off here, and now we'll just put the lines on so that you can see that is showing us 2 pips over here on the actual tool, ready to actually get involved with a trade if that's what we were going to do. But that's not what we're here for now. I'm going to click off the lines here, and what we're going to do is we're going to change our chart from Euro USD to US 100, and I can do that by dragging it onto the screen here. You'll see it now switch over to US 100. And now you can see that stop loss says 20, and that's wrong for a commodity. So what we want to do here is come in here and type 2000. This is the equivalent of 2 pips on a commodity such as US 100. So now when I put the lines on, you'll see we've got the number 2000 here, and if I just zoom around, you'll notice the 2 to 1 still applies, 2000 and 4000 here, where we've got a $1,000 trade in place, risking $1,000 to win $2,000. So that's the number that you need to get your 2 pip minimum on. So the minimum number would be 2000. You could have anything above that if you're on a commodity like US 100, and the number will be 20, which is 2 pips equivalent if you're on a currency pair such as Euro USD. Hopefully you found this useful, and thanks very much for watching.
Thank you, Steve. As always, we're checking out the imbalance caused on the 4-hourly candle, and also respecting this line here. This is the scenario we want for a buy alert. Let's just check the 5-minute time frame. You do that periodically to check there's no buy zones being formed, but there was a buy zone here. While I was setting up, it's disappeared because the price has gone deeper into this imbalance. But it's regardless really, because we are waiting for the next buy anyway, because that's the way the indicators work. I mean, we got sell alert, buy alert, sell alert. So the next one has to be a buy alert. which is indeed what we're waiting for, in anticipation of this red wave turning to green. Price going up here, swallowing that parabolic SAR, bringing that parabolic SAR down, a nice buy alert. The volume ribbon turning green, the trend line turning green. When it's all ready to go with your buy alert in place, that is when we take the buy, and the stop loss goes on the wave when it turns green and everything else is green, because that will be the nearest to your entry. If the trend was up here, which sometimes happens, if the trend was above the wave, we'd be putting the stop loss on the trend when it turns green, because that is the nearest to your entry price. The one thing I suffer with is nothing to do with the actual trading. It's the actual fact that I do lives. Now, because I do lives, my compulsion to show you guys a live trade is very, very strong. The reality is sometimes I will look at a chart, and because of my low monthly target, I'll think, no, I don't fancy this. I'll come back later. But because I'm on a live with you guys, and I have a very strong compulsion to actually want to show you a live trade in action, sometimes I trade and I look at this trade and I think to myself, I wouldn't have taken that trade after the event. And last night was a point in question where we had a lot of sideways movement on the 5-minute time frame, but my compulsion to show you a live trade was such that we took the trade and it did lose. And really, it went against my bigger, higher judgment. But I'm in a personal conflict about that, because I'm showing you guys, and of course, we're here at a specific time. It's not like you can be over my shoulder all day. So my compulsion to show you a live trade got the better of me. Right, now I'm going to put the stop loss, using the trade assistant to put in anticipation of maybe a live trade going on. But yeah, I won't. But it's a conflict of mind, so sometimes it's better to realize that if you don't fancy it, if it doesn't look right, come back. I mean, that's the beauty of a very low monthly target. Some days your life might not demand you trade. In other words, you have to go out, do a bit of shopping, or I don't know, like in my case this morning, go to the doctors, or anything like that. And so obviously you won't be able to trade for the rest of the day, but that's fine. You come back when you're all calm. And even sometimes when you're on there ready for a trade and you see all this sideways movement and things don't look quite right for you, you don't need to trade. That's the whole point of a low target. But me, I have a slightly different problem where, like I said, I try to show you a live trade going on, even though it might be a bit more of one that I would rather say, nah, I'll come back later on in the day. But that doesn't help you watching me at a certain time. But there is no excuses for this one, because there's like nice if we do get a buy, like we got see that buy alert flash on there, This is where I want price to be, and in anticipation of it turning green. In actual fact, I'm going to lock that in and put that there now. Nothing's turned green yet. The volume ribbon's turned green. The wave hasn't even turned green yet. So I could be giving this quite a lot of distance between stop loss and entry, but I'm after confirmations of price getting above this little bit of imbalance there, and it could be tapping into that imbalance there. But it's confirmation over the distance between stop loss and entry, really. So I'll be prepared to give it about three or four pips before I press buy, in anticipation of my trend line turning green as well. The wave has just started to turn green, but I want to get rid of that imbalance there, get it up to about 3 pips, but also I am aware that we are causing imbalance here and here. So I want it to give it enough wriggle room to enter this buy. And I'm not going to be rushing into it, because again, if it doesn't work out, it tells me that the price can be a bit nervy, which is fine. But so I'm going to give it about a little bit more yet. Let it do its thing, because there is no definite trends. Well, there is a trend starting up, but I'm aware that there is imbalances down here and here. So the trend line has now reached 3 o'clock. If you can imagine a clock face down here, the trend line is horizontally out. That could turn green at any stage if price continues to go up. But price is going to do what it's going to do. So I'll have to wait and see on that. I'm quite happy to let it plod along and do its own thing. Give it a little bit more confirmation of a buy taking place. Let it settle down a bit. If indeed if it does that. If it comes down and takes all this out, well, we'll just start again, basically. Which is okay, because I'm not in any trade. Patience. And see, there we go. If I'd have got in there, I quite possibly may be out of the trade by now. So we'll put it there and perhaps let it form a new high. Let it get a bit higher yet. Give it a good three to 4 pips, I guess, before we contemplate getting in. The trend line now has turned green, so everything's good to go. Still a bit nervy though, isn't it? Price action still not on a definite commitment yet, even though our indicators are green, green, green. Very, very quickly. No, am I? No, I'm not. I'm going to stay where I am. Basically, if we form a new high, I'm going to be in. Again, see, patience might have paid off. Yeah, price is very nervy. Is it coming down to tap into this imbalance, or maybe even this imbalance here? In which case we've got a totally different picture. I wouldn't be interested in a sell, or would I? Yeah, because we could be getting into this imbalance down here. So from a buy, nearly a buy situation, I could be looking, we could be looking at a sell. I mean, most certainly if I'd have got in now, I would have been out already. So a little bit of impatience, a little bit of patience, waiting for confirmation. So if a sell does present itself, I have no sell zones to worry about according to the 5-minute time frame, and I've also got this imbalance down here. I've got imbalance here as well. Let's look on the 15-minute time frame. See, all that candle there has been equalized by that wick, so that's not in balance, but it's in balance on the 4-hourly. It's just we could be still facing the buy. Let's quickly look on the 5-minute time frame. Now we've got a parabolic flip on the 5-minute time frame, which is good. And if you notice on the 5-minute, we are rebounding off that purple line, the EMA 462. So it would be prudent to let it go a bit higher. So on the 5-minute time frame, it would breeze past it. All right, let's try again with this buy. I definitely want to make it go, let it go a bit higher. Like I said, to go past this on the 5-minute time frame, because it might bounce or break. So let it go a bit higher. Possibly a 4 or 5 pip even stop loss. As long, and it will be good if my 2% is below our purple line on the minute time frame, in case it bounces or breaks off that, you know. But all the time we're going sideways, which is not ideal, because there is no red flag news on the horizon at the moment, in this moment in time. So patience has kept me getting out of the trade at the moment, being stopped out, because I'm not in a trade at the moment, but I'm looking to give this maybe 4 pips, a bit more of a confirmation of a buy, if we are going to get a buy. Well, we got the buy alert, everything's green, 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 good to go. Right, I'm in now. There we go. So 3.6 pips from stop loss to entry. And I'll mark that up on the 3.6, which is there. Takes my 2 to 1 up to there, just underneath the purple line. So really, I'm quite happy with that. We got a support and resistance line here. Doesn't mean to say everything's going to go smoothly, because we got imbalances down here, and we know prices are a little bit nervy, but we've also got imbalances up here and a wee bit here as well, you know. So we're going to accept the 1% loss or the 2% gain, whatever. But again, I like to put it on the 5-minute time frame, because yeah, there's a good bit of imbalance up there. That's good. I like to see that. But also we got imbalance to here as well, you know. So what's he going to do first? We've already tapped into the imbalance, the 4-hourly imbalance, which is good. But we'll have to wait and see on that. But no matter what I think now, I have made my choice. What I would be doing is I would be turning off my computer, go away and make a cup of tea or a cup of coffee if you're inclined, because you're accepting the 1% loss or the 2% gain, whatever the case may be, because we followed the rules, waiting for the trend line to go green. Wave has gone green. That's where the stop loss is. Parallel size underneath the price. A nice buy alert. So we're in the trade, and no matter what happens, that's the way it is. So why we go for a low monthly target is to take the pressure off ourselves. And here's Steve with a quick reminder why we do that.
So here's how you make profits without putting yourself under too much pressure. Let's look at a situation where you've got yourself a $100,000 FTMO prop firm account and you win 10%. You'll win $10,000. Now, FTMO will pay you 80% of that after their 20% commission retention. So you'll make $8,000. $8,000 a month is $96,000 a year. In pounds, that's £71,110. In euros, 82,430. Now in pounds, if you divide that by 12, you'll find it's £5,925 a month. In euros, €6,869 per month. But what if you only won 7.25% per month? Well, your payout from FTMO would be in dollars £1,115 per week, in pounds £1,000 a week, and in euros €956 per week. So as you can see, making profits without putting yourself under undue pressure makes complete sense. Look at the numbers on the screen in front of you now. On the left, if you win only 10% per month, those are the numbers. On the right, if you fail to hit that realistic target of 10% and only achieve 7.25%, that's $1,115 a week, £1,000 a week if you're in the UK, and €956 a week across the Eurozone. This is why we target only 10%. It's all about making profits without putting ourselves under undue pressure.
Thank you, Steve. So one of the main reasons why I think most traders fail is because they set themselves unrealistic goals when they start, because they hear, quite rightly, they hear all these marketers and traders, most of them are marketers trying to sell their stuff, saying, oh, I've done 30% a month or whatever, stupid stuff like that. But if a realistic goal is 10%, and there was Steve with an excellent explanation of why we do that. So yeah, most people said, if you get your mindset correctly to think about having smaller and more realistic goals, sticking to one strategy, whatever the strategy may be, don't mix strategies, because not on the same platform anyway. If you can decompartmentalize your brain and do a like this is one part, and then if you find another strategy you like, whatever it may be, and then just decompartmentalize your brain. But that's very difficult to do. I couldn't do it. Well, I did do it, but I found it very difficult. A lot of focus is involved, and because doing for trading for a long time, you can get to know your own mind a lot more, for me anyway. But this is where we are at the moment. So what I'm going to do now, because I've got that parabolic style there, I'm going to put my stop loss to my entry. Because the way things are going, if price comes down and swallows that parabolic style up to bring that parabolic style down, then I can imagine them going to maybe take out all these imbalances down here, in which case that'll hit my stop loss. But now I have not taking any risk. I've got a risk-free trade. I'm happy with that. And if it breaks even, I'm happy with that as well, because I haven't lost any money, and that's the most important thing. Obviously, I hope it's going to continue on up, because we're only a quarter of the way there at the moment. But we'll see what happens now, risk-free. Because we know there are imbalances down here, but we also know there are imbalances up here and here. So which one wins out first, as far as we're concerned? And at the same time, in a way, you shouldn't even be looking at this trade, because we've made our decision. It's only going to play with your mentality. But I'm contractually obliged to watch this with you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw open the chat, just to make it a little bit more human. I can remember how to. Yeah, hang on. So if anybody's got anything they'd like to say about what's going on so far today, either on YouTube, my YouTube channel, or you guys with me in Academy 55 in the room, put it in the chat, and I will certainly answer your questions. If not, we'll just watch it go up and up and up, hopefully. But at the same time, like I say, if price does come down and takes out that parallel SAR and comes down, there is a bigger risk to take out these imbalances here underneath my previous stop loss. But I've got a break-even trade, and I'm fine with that. So being cautious, being realistic, saving my equity and all that stuff. So I'm in a happy place at the moment. So we'll go back to trading view. This is where we are at the moment. Put the indicators back on. Right, this is showing slightly different feed. And oh right, yeah. So I might get taken out here. Come down to tap into that imbalance there before carrying on up, or it might go even deeper into these imbalances here. But I'm fine with that. That's what's going to happen. $10% is a really, really realistic target, as we've shown you for many, many months of doing this. Again, people here on the YouTube channels and whatever, this marketer, this trader has done like 10% a day and stuff like that. And people have it in their mind, they're not happy unless they get that, which is totally unrealistic. Again, they say all these things to encourage people to buy their indicators or whatever system they're selling, but really it's nonsense. And indeed, I've been taken out for a break-free, break-even trade. And now let's see if I've done the right thing. Well, I know I've done the right thing for me. I have actually lost no money. And now we've got a sell on our hands. And is price wanting to get into this imbalance here like I thought we would maybe all the time? So I've got a broken even on that one. And indeed, look, price has come all the way down, possibly to fill out these imbalances here. So by doing that, at the moment, I'm being proved right. And at the same time, I could be getting into a sell trade now. Hang on. I don't know what I'm doing now. Now, this time, my stop loss off this sell would be there where the trend line is. Right there. And indeed, the price did come down. Look, I would have been taken out for no money at all. This time, I want to see price. Is it going to bounce or break like it did down here, this important line here? So I've got to be super vigilant and wait for price to get down below this area here because of bounce or break, which is going to give me a fairly big stop loss to activate this sell. But that time, I'm going to have extra confirmations of price heading even lower. But we might have a situation where it reaches this area here where our take profit area is there and bounce up again. Because we're forming lots of imbalances here, and we know there's imbalances here as well. So really, on retrospect, do I want to trade? Because I've been going now for 40 minutes with you guys, we had a break even where we had a good go. Didn't quite work out for us. Sorry, because all trades are for educational purposes only. And price doing what it's doing, behaving as it's behaving isn't, well, price never goes straight up or straight down, I know that, but fooling us out with a buy, not getting to our 2% target, which is obviously too big for it at this time. So you know, I might say, if I can, I might come back later on today and say, okay, I'll trade later on today, or with the 10% target that I've got, that I've already reached, and it's only the 12th of September, because you've got to give yourself little rewards for your trading, because otherwise, why do it? So I'll take my partner out for a meal, even something as a bar of chocolate, you know, give yourself a little reward to make it all worthwhile that you've actually reached your monthly target, and give yourself the rest of the month off and come back fresh again next month. I mean, myself, I'm away on vacation going abroad next week. So I'll be trading with you guys on the Monday and the Tuesday. Don't usually trade Mondays, but because of me going away, I'm going to cram it in on a Monday. But that's going to be arranged. And then what happens next week and the week after will be well documented for Academy 55 members. So that's a break-even trade for me, because this is where you seen I got out. If I put a trend line there, I actually got out there. And in a perverse way, I'm quite pleased with that result. So if I do that, and I haven't lost any money, saved my equity, which is really good. Really chuffed with that. You shouldn't look at it as a negative. So, break even. And I'm not really interested in taking the sell, because if it bounces or breaks, and with all the action I've been seeing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that link, go to my journal, and these are all the trades that got me the 10%. So these are the dummy trades. So I'll put that in there. And we were on the EUR USD between 10 and 12 today. 10 and 11, sorry. On the Friday, it was a buy. It didn't win or didn't lose, so I'll leave that empty and empty, because there's no point. I'll put a 0, it doesn't mean anything. Yeah, I'll put 0%. And in the comments section, I'm going to write in trade would have lost. No, before that, sorry. Put trade to break even. Trade would have lost. Just to remind me, when I do look at that screenshot, here's the screenshot here. There we go. Then I can look back at that, and then I can put down how I was feeling, if I wanted to, whether I was happy with the trade or not. So that's what I write into my journal. And that's what all Academy 55 members get. So I'll take that off now. Yeah. So this is where we are at the moment. Nothing too exciting happening. So I'm quite happy to leave it there. All that remains for me to say now for you guys is to have a really great day. Have a nice weekend. And I'll see you hopefully again on the Monday. And have a great weekend. All the best. Bye for now.